The Detroit Lions are 8-1 for the first time since 1953. That's 71 years. That's 71 seasons. That is 7 decades. For reference, I love you, Mom. My mother was born in 1957. She was born the last year the Lions won a thing. Maybe was I meant to be a Detroit Lions content creator? Maybe. Maybe I was. Maybe I was also meant to be the best, which I am currently right now, the #1 independent YouTube creator. But anyway, that's for another channel. So the Detroit Lions have not been 8-1 in 71 years. When was the last time they've been 9-1? Somebody came in my comment section yesterday and they said the Detroit Lions have never been 9-1. I have looked and tried to find it. I went through the history of the Detroit Lions, saying when has there ever been? I typed in, when was the last time the Lions were 9-1? You know what kept coming up? 8-1, 8-1, 8-1. I didn't see 9-1. So the Detroit Lions have an opportunity to do something that they've never done. They've been doing that a lot the last 2 years. They were going to be the first team since 1970. Speaking of 1970, and it kind of ironic, if the Detroit Lions would have made the playoffs at 9-8, they would have been the first team since the 1970 Cincinnati Bengals to start 1-6 and make the playoffs. They would have been the second team in NFL history to do that. They missed out. We all know what happened. But the Detroit Lions have a chance to once again make history. They've never been the #1 seed either, which they currently are. The most they were was back in the 1990s, early 90s, when you had the #1 and #2 seed have bye weeks that first week of the playoffs. They've been a #2, but they've never been 1. If the Detroit Lions make the #1 seed, they have the playoffs that go through, all roads go through Detroit. How about that? Literally, we got a free game to the Super Bowl. We're playing the lowest seed. The divisional and the NFC title game is at our house, which is also hasn't been done. So what does that mean? The Detroit Lions have to finish what they started. And they have 3 games coming up. Home stretch, the last month was tough. And they came out of that thing undefeated. Now they got 3 games that you can call any one of these games trap games. So somebody asked me, how do I feel about the Lions' next 3 games? Let's take a look and see what they are. Next 3 games. We're back at home for 2 of them. We play the 2-8 Jacksonville Jaguars. We play the 4-6 Indianapolis Colts and the 4-5 Chicago Bears. Currently, all 3 of these teams are under 500. This team will be under 500 when they play us. The Indianapolis Colts, that is. The Jacksonville Jaguars will be under 500 when they play us. The Chicago Bears could either be 5-5, they could be 6-5, or they could be 4-7 when they play us. All right? So how do I feel about these 3 games? They're winnable. I'm talking about we are already 13-point favorites against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have Mac Jones. Who? Mac Jones. And I'm sorry, but that's a win. I'm not going to say trap game. Forget all that. We're going to do them the same way we did Tennessee 3 weeks ago. All right? That ain't arrogance. That's confidence. We're going to beat them. Okay? The Indianapolis Colts, a game that I plan to go to if the weather is conducive. We're going to win this game too. Flacco, or it doesn't matter. We win in this game. Chicago Bears, no reason we shouldn't win this. He not Justin Fields, bro. Justin Fields killed us with his legs. Caleb, he's not Justin Fields. He's a better passer, but Justin killed us. The Bears were what they were because we had to deal with Justin. How do I feel about the next 3 games? That the Lions are going to win the next 3 games and be literally on a 10-game winning streak. A 10-game winning streak. You know what's crazy? The team that beat us in week 2, they beat us by 4. We went 1-7 in the red zone. You want to know what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are? 4-6. Yes, they've lost their 2 top targets. Injuries happen. One of their 4 wins is against us. I think the Detroit Lions are going to be, going into the month of December, 11-1. 11-1 with 5 games remaining. We've got the Green Bay Packers again, the Minnesota Vikings again, the Chicago Bears again. We've got the Buffalo Bills. And then there's one team that I'm forgetting. Green Bay, Minnesota, Buffalo, Chicago, and it's one more. San Francisco. The Detroit Lions could literally, I had them at 14-3 going into when the schedule came out, 14-3. I did kind of second guess that when we were 1-1, having a loss so early, but since then we've rattled 7 in a row. So right now, 7 in a row. We're now 8-1. We've got 8 games remaining, and the next 3 are very winnable. We're going to be favorite in every one of those games. The Lions could be 11-1 on a 10-game win streak at that time. So let me know your thoughts, man. But that's what I think about the Detroit Lions and their next 3 games.